In this episode of Network 17 Playing Games, your host Ed will be playing 5 games from the classic 1980s home console, the Atari 2600. The games Ed will be playing are Pac-Man, Frogger, Freeway, Asteroids, and Space Invaders. Now here is your host Ed.
Hi and welcome to this episode of Network 17 Playing Games. As you saw from the title, I'll be playing 5 games from the classic home console of the 70s and 80s, the Atari 2600. I remember playing this when I was young with my sister. We had hours of fun. For those who do not know what an Atari 2600 is, especially from those that are not from the 80s generation, I'm now going to play you a quick advert that will actually show how popular the game console was.
You're a starship captain in an asteroid field. Blast it with your lasers or put up your shields. As a missile commander defending your city. If you're not quick enough, they'll show no pity. The invaders won't stop us from the skies they drop. Just keep coming.
3 out-of-this-world games from Atari, the #1 video computer system with more games than any other.
Everyone's gone Atari. The #1 video game.
Okay, so you saw a bit about the Atari. It was not back in the 70s. It was the #1 video game. Okay, so without further ado, Amy, please tell me, what is the first game I'll be playing?
Well Ed, the first game you will be playing is Space Invaders, a classic arcade conversion to home console, released by Atari in 1980.
Interesting, Amy. Well, I remember playing Space Invaders on the arcade. So, Amy, can you tell me a little bit more about Space Invaders for our people who do not know about Space Invaders?
Space Invaders is an arcade game created by Tomohiro Nishikado and released in 1978. It was manufactured and sold by Taito in Japan, and licensed in the United States by the Midway division of Bally. Space Invaders is one of the earliest shooting games. The aim is to defeat waves of aliens with a laser to earn as many points as possible. Designer Nishikado drew inspiration from games such as Breakout and Gunfight and science fiction stories such as The War of the Worlds, Space Battleship Yamato, and Star Wars. To complete it, he designed custom hardware and development tools. Space Invaders was one of the forerunners of modern video games, and helped expand the video game industry from a novelty to a global industry. See Golden Age of arcade video games. Space Invaders was an immediate commercial success. By 1982, it had grossed $2 billion, equivalent to $7.5 billion in 2018, with a net profit of $450 million, $1.69 billion in 2018. Making it the best-selling video game and highest-grossing entertainment product of its time. The game has been the inspiration for other video games, re-released on numerous platforms, and led to several sequels. The 1980 Atari 2600 version quadrupled the system's sales and became the first killer app for video game consoles. Space Invaders has been referenced and parodied in multiple television shows, and been a part of several video game and cultural exhibitions. The pixelated enemy alien has become a pop culture icon, often representing video games as a whole. Space Invaders is a 2-dimensional shooter game in which the player controls a laser cannon by moving it horizontally across the bottom of the screen and firing at descending aliens. The aim is to defeat 5 rows of 11 aliens. Some versions feature different numbers that move horizontally back and forth across the screen as they advance toward the bottom of the screen. The player defeats an alien, and earns points, by shooting it with the laser cannon. As more aliens are defeated, the aliens' movement and the game's music both speed up. Defeating the aliens brings another wave that is more difficult, a loop which can continue without end. The aliens attempt to destroy the cannon by firing at it while they approach the bottom of the screen. If they reach the bottom, the alien invasion is successful and the game ends. A special mystery ship will occasionally move across the top of the screen and award bonus points if destroyed. The laser cannon is partially protected by several stationary defense bunkers. The number varies by version, that are gradually destroyed by numerous blasts from the aliens or player. A game will also end if the player's last laser base is destroyed.
Hi, and as you can see from the video, my son has joined me. Okay, so you know a little bit more about Space Invaders for those who didn't know. So without further ado, let's get playing. So as you can see, as you can see, the screen is now loaded up there. You can see the Space Invaders screen, the classic 2600 Space Invaders. And now let's have a game, shall we? I'm going to start the game. I'm starting the game now. Yeah, it's me moving across the bottom. You move the ship across the bottom and you shoot. Okay. So listen, I'll just sit back and enjoy. Okay, yes, there's no monster coming. Alien, no, I missed that one. Okay, yeah, the Space Invaders do shoot at you. Now in this version, if the Space Invaders land, then the game's over. But each level you play, they get further and closer down to the base. You end up having to learn quickly. Okay, it comes.
If you lose 3 lives, you.
Ah, got that one. Yeah, if you in this game, if your bases die, your game's over. If they land on your bases, they land, your game's over. And if you lose it, if you get destroyed about 2 or 3 times, your game's over. Now there's no protection. They're coming down. Oh, lost a life. This comes the last one. Got it. So it starts all over again. Notice they've actually come a little bit closer down now, so it starts making it a bit challenging. In the arcade version, they remained basically where they were each level. But in this Atari version, they've decided to each level they lower it further down. Here comes the mothership. Can I get it? Missed. Okay, do it again. You have to be careful what I'm careful what I'm doing, because as you can see, they're moving closer down. Oh yeah, here's a background noise. That was our bird. We have a bird as well.
No.
Okay, next, the third level. As you see, they're even further down, closer to the base. Eventually, they'll get so low, there'll be no bases. It makes it even more challenging to play. The bases are gone, as you can see, because they came down lower. Now, can I get that? No, I'm not. I'm going to concentrate on getting the ones that are lower before I lose a life.
I'm just gonna go and drink.
Okay, got that one. Now as you can see, there is no base on this level. Now it makes it even more challenging, because now I've got to try and get rid of the bottom ones first before I get the top ones, because they're the ones that are going to land land first. And if they land, game over, regardless if you've got 1 or 2 lives left. Missed it again. Okay, got the last 3 to get.
Last 3.
2, 1. Got it. Move to the next level. As you can see now, they're right at the bottom, almost on ground. This then makes it even more of a challenge, because now I've got to concentrate on getting the bottom ones, like I said in the past level, because if any of them land, I don't know why I'm not doing that. Game over, they've landed. Okay, well that's the end of this game. So Amy, please can you tell me, what is the next game we'll be playing?
Well Ed, the next game you will be playing is Freeway, a classic home console game, released by Activision in 1981.
Well that's good Amy, I remember playing that when I was young. Okay, for those who may not know what Freeway was, Please, Amy, can you enlighten us?
Freeway is a video game designed by David Crane for the Atari 2600 video game console. It was published by Activision in 1981. 1 or 2 players control chickens who can be made to run across a 10-lane highway filled with traffic in an effort to get to the other side. Every time a chicken gets across, a point is earned for that player. If hit by a car, a chicken is forced back either slightly, or pushed back to the bottom of the screen, depending on what difficulty the switch is set to. The winner of a 2-player game is the player who has scored the most points in the 2 minutes, 16 seconds allotted. The chickens are only allowed to move up or down. A cluck sound is heard when a chicken is struck by a car. David Crane came up with the game during the SCES in Chicago, when he observed someone attempting to cross Lakeshore Drive on foot. The original prototype version for Freeway was titled Bloody Human Freeway. A few major differences to the finished product were, at startup, cars were already on the freeway instead of all being lined up on the right side. The Score and Activision logo were yellow instead of pink. Instead of controlling a chicken, the player controlled a man, and instead of being forced down a bit when hit by a car, the character would turn into a streak of blood. Pressing the fire button reset the game. There were some minor differences in the sounds used. Freeway was well received, earning an honorable mention for Most Innovative Game in 1982 at the 3rd Annual Larky Awards.
Hi, so thanks for that enlightenment, Amy. As she did explain, this is a game where you play as a chicken. You've got to cross from one side of the freeway to the other. Please forgive my bird. She decided because she can hear the chicken noises, or when I was practicing she had chicken noises, she can actually chirp along. Okay, without further ado, let's actually get started into the game. As you see, you start at the bottom of the screen when it starts. At the bottom of the screen, you've got to work up to the other side. And of course, you get hit by a car, you get knocked back. So let's start the game. Okay, we've started the game now. We're at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to move up across the other side. You notice that the cars on the 2 inner tracks are the fastest, and the other cars then get progressively slower. Okay, so we're moving up. Oh, so I got hit then and not back. Okay, got across there. Whew, that was close. Oops, I got hit. Move up. Good idea, this game. It's one of these games, it's repetitive, some people will say, because you keep going to all you do is going up the top from the bottom to the top. But the challenge is you want to see how much you get in the first go, and you see if you can try and beat it. As you probably hear in the background, my 2 boys are having their breakfast, and I'm now doing this game. When the actual scoreboard starts flashing, oh no, that was another close shave. Oops, I got hit twice, knocked back, all the way back. When the scoreboard starts flashing, that means the game's about to end. You'll try and get your last few across there within your allotted time. So like now it's flashing, as you can see on the top. That means the game is about to end. Okay, the game's ended. I didn't get my 20. I only got 23. Okay, well, that's the end of that game. So, Amy, please tell me, what is the next game you will be playing?
Ed, the next game you will be playing is Pac-Man. the classic arcade game converted to home console, released by Atari in 1981.
Well, that's the interesting name, that's good. I remember playing Pac-Man when I first got the console. Okay, so everyone should know Pac-Man because it's been on arcades, been on many conversions. Okay, so let's actually get straight into the game. Right, as you can see, the screen's now loaded. And as Amy mentioned, you're the character, Pac-Man. You've got to go around a maze, eating wafers and eating power pills and avoid the ghost. What Amy didn't mention is once you eat the game now, was when you actually eat the power pills, that's the big flashing square blocks in each of the four corners. What then happens is you have a short time where with the ghosts you can actually eat the ghosts. As you'll see in this example here, I've eaten one ghost, two ghosts, and the points on this started off at 20 for the first ghost, 40 for the second ghost, 80 for the third ghost, and 160 for the fourth. The idea is, and that block you now see on the screen, that is actually an extra scoring block. You can get 100. I think it starts off, and then you get other ones that might go up to about 500, I think. Oh yeah, I've just ducked up a couple of holes either side, at top or bottom. If you got in the arcade, they usually were on the corners, but in this it's top and bottom. Basically the same principle. Just duck down it, and you can avoid getting hit by the ghost. But I'll certainly be waffling on. I'll let you enjoy the game. Okay, I'm on to the next level. What I tend to do, and I used to play it, sort of playing this time, not playing as well, I used to play, try and use the power pills sparingly. Oh, I just died. Because what you want to do is use each power pill to clear as much of the particular side as possible. Oh, that was it, I walked straight into that one. Okay. And then, as I was saying, you try and use the power pills to clear, say the bottom one, to clear as much as the bottom to the top, and the top one to clear as much as you can. The idea of that is, if you eat the power pills too soon, you then have no way of protection, and then you end up dying. Again, like most people say, try and clear as much of the board as you can before using a power pill. Only ever use a power pill, which I didn't, sorry, I misused it. If you're cornered. I died again. Just turned into a normal ghost before I was passing. Died again. I think it's my second to last life I'm on now. I've got an extra life, yeah. I think when you clear a level you do get an extra life. When you clear an actual level. If I remember rightly. Died again. Second to last life, I think, I find I am died again. Last life now. Walked straight into that one. Well, that's game over. Well, that was fun playing that. So, Amy, please tell me what my fourth game I'm going to play.
Ed, the next game you will be playing is Asteroids, the classic arcade game converted to home console by Atari, released in 1981.
Asteroids, I remember playing that, Amy, on the arcades. Okay, I don't need to give us any more enlightenments because most people should know Asteroids. If you don't, basically Asteroids is a vector-based shooting game. In the arcades it became a solid graphics in the Atari version. Okay, so let's get the game started. As you can see, the game is now loaded and we're now going to play. Okay, that's me shooting the asteroids. Now you move by pressing the up arrow. Oh, I've just died. Yeah, because I've grabbed me. You press the up arrow to move. In the arcade you have to press a button to hyperspace, but in the Atari version it's pressed down to hyperspace. By hyperspace basically means if you're going to get two rocks colliding towards you, you can literally get out of the way. But you do play Russian roulette because you can actually appear right in front of an asteroid anyway. So your best tactic is to try and avoid them as best you can without using hyperspace, unless you desperately have to. Okay, some of you are blindly enjoying the game. If I use hyperspace there, you saw that I was lucky that time, I avoided, but sometimes I can into a path of an asteroid. In the arcade version, I will let a note, every now and again alien, space, UFO would appear. I got killed there. But in this version, I don't believe there is any such alien ships that come. So you only got the asteroids. Again, because of limited memory that the Atari 2600 had. I died again. Also, if you get 5,000 like you just seen there, you get 5,000, you get an extra life. Oh, you wasted that life. Use hyperspace again. Oh, and I landed right into an asteroid and killed. Okay, well that's the actual game over. So, Amy, please tell me, what is my final game I'll be playing?
Ed, the final game you will be playing is Frogger, the classic arcade game by Konami. The game was converted to a wide range of platforms including Atari 2600. Frogger was licensed and distributed worldwide by Sega, released on the Atari 2600 in 1981.
Okay, so let's have a game of Frogger. Thanks for the introduction. Okay, you can set, I'm at the moment selecting levels, you can set multiple levels. Okay, so let's start the game. See, I'm at the bottom of the screen, and you can see that I can move up from the bottom to the top of the... I can move left and right as well. Ways to die in this game. Yep, nothing there. You can actually die by getting hit by a road vehicle. You can die by landing on an alligator. You can die by landing on the back of a turtle that's about to die. You can die by just jumping into the water, even though you are a frog. Also, if you manage to get your lady friend, who's sometimes on the log like she's at the moment there, you meet up with her, you can score extra points and you can go back to your little love nest. Also, you'll die if you go off the edge of the screen. Yeah, so there's so many ways you can die in this game. Sit back and enjoy. died by roadkill. Okay, that's the end of the game. Oh, very short game. Okay, I'll have another quick game, because I want to see if I can do better this time. Right, I picked up my lady friend, but I didn't get her to safety. Whoops. I died again. Died again. Oh, you can go backwards if you've got a platform to do so. Yeah, got the lady friend home that time and scored bonus points. Died again. Not very good at this game. Okay, well, game over. Well, that concludes the game, so thank you for the games, Amy. Okay, so if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. And I'll catch you next time on Network 17 Playing Games. Bye bye for now.